Hey everybody, Meinke here from MLive.com. Joined by Nate Atkins. The division championship game is upon us. Lions, Packers, Ford Field. It's as big of a game as I can recall for the Lions. Regular season game. They can climb as high as the second seed in the conference with a win. With a loss, they can fall out of the postseason entirely. Nate, who do you got in the game?
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, this is a playoff game already, so I think Ford Field is going to be electric. I think that will help the Lions a big way, but not having Theo Riddick, probably not having Travis Swanson back, I'm going to have to go with the Red Hot Packers in this one. I've got them winning 31-24.
Yeah, I've got the same. I got the same thing. 28-24 is my score with the Packers winning. I feel like the Lions will be a very tough out. I don't like the pick because there's such a better team at Ford Field. They've only lost one game there all year, and that was way back in week 2. I mean, they're just a different team.
And they're really good against the Packers at Ford Field too. I mean, they've only lost once since 2013, and that was the Hail Mary last year.
I got to take the Packers though because I feel like Aaron Rodgers is so good right now. He's just tearing people up. He's done it against good defenses too. In Seattle, 38 points. Again against Minnesota, another 38 points. 11 touchdowns, no picks. I mean the numbers go on and on. This guy's playing phenomenal football. Darius Slay's probably going to play in this game, but he's not 100%. He's still battling the hamstring. I'm skeptical about how many stops the Lions are going to be able to get against that kind of offense. And I think we might see another track meet like what we saw last week with Dallas. And I'm not sure with Stafford banged up, no Theo Riddick as you mentioned. I just don't know if they can afford to trade blows with a team that's playing as well as the Packers.
Yeah, I think this is one where they're going to have to hope that running game comes through again and it stays instead of just being a first half deal because I totally agree. I think on a fast track, with the way the Packers are moving the ball, this is going to be a shootout. Yeah. And so, I'm interested to see how much Darius Slay can do because the best way to slow down the Packers is to do something against Jordy Nelson. Just make Aaron Rodgers go somewhere else. But I'm starting to look at this matchup and I'm thinking this Packers offense is a better version of the Cowboys passing game that we saw last week. They've got a mobile quarterback, great pass protecting line, and a great receiver that just presents a size and speed mismatch for a lot of defenders. And so it's going to be one thing to have Slay out there, but what Darius Slay are we going to get? How up there is he? And can they get a little bit of a pass rush? Because I just think that's a tough matchup for them, and it puts a lot of pressure on that offense, which I think they can score pretty well against a weak Packers secondary. Yeah. But can they score enough to outscore Aaron Rodgers? I think that's the tough question here.
Yeah, you bring up a good point with the pass rush. The Lions have had some luck defending Aaron Rodgers, defending the Packers in Terrell Austin's tenure. But when they've had that luck, they've been able to collapse the pocket, get after Rodgers, make him uncomfortable, get him on the move. And I know he's great on the move, but that's still the way to beat him. And the Lions have been able to get those stops. I'm not convinced they'll be able to do that in this game, though. Their pass rush has really lacked this year. They're one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to pressuring the quarterback without the blitz. And that's just going to put even more pressure on the back end. And I'm not sure with Quandre Diggs out, with Darius Slay, we'll see on the health of him. I'm just not convinced they'll be able to be, as tight as they'll need to. I think to trade blows with the Lions' offense being as inconsistent as we've seen over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think this is going to put a lot of pressure on Ziggy Ansah to keep doing what he's been doing. I thought he was quite impressive last week after going back and watching the film against Tyron Smith. And the matchup won't be that tough, probably again, for years until he plays Tyron Smith again. So that's one where he's sort of the one that's got to throw Aaron Rodgers off his game here. But it's a tricky deal with Rodgers because you get him on the move and you get him scrambling back there, and that's sometimes when he's at his best. And he springs these guys open that are not Jordy Nelson, who normally don't get open. And so they've got to find some way to get Ansah going. If Kerry Hyder can get some pressure in there, and like you said, collapse the pocket, I think that's probably their best chance to win outside of doing something against Jordy Nelson.
That's the way I look at it. It's among the hardest games I can think of picking this team since I started covering the team in 2013. I can see it going both ways. With the home crowd, the Lions play so well at home. I can see them getting some momentum, that crowd turning on the Packers and things going well for the Lions. But I can see it going the other way too. I just think in the end, Green Bay is just too hot, too good at this point. And I think they'll be, in the end, too much in a great game, but I think they'll just be too much. You'll see the Lions behind the 8 ball a little bit. I'm just not sure if they'll have enough gas in the offense to be able to make it happen.
Yeah, I think the key here is going to be, can they get a little bit of a boost from special teams? It was so good earlier in the year. It's been good the whole year, but can they get that little extra something? Because the matchups in a lot of ways are not in their favor, but that's one where they have turned games around at home with the crowd. If they can do that here, I think that gives them a much better chance.
That's what we got. We're going to be there all night, so keep it here at MLive throughout the day and throughout the night. For Nate, I'm Kyle. We're MLive. Keep it right here.